How many times has someone complimented you and you just brushed it off as if it's nothing, significant? How many times have you achieved something, have you worked on something, and someone congratulated you and you just brushed it off as if it's nothing big or something significant? How many times have you done that? I can tell you I've done that many times. As human beings, we have a tendency of downplaying our achievements. And I think that we do that because we always feel like there's always someone out there that has done better. There's always someone out there that has achieved more. And so why should we celebrate our small, seemingly mediocre achievements? And they're actually not mediocre. They're actually not small. Those small achievements, those small steps that we are taking in our lives, they are the reason why that we actually end up having this holistic life. They are also the reason why that we are here where we are, and they are also the reason why we are able to achieve our goals. And so us downplaying our achievements, us downplaying our small steps and our small achievements along the way, we are basically saying they are not important, they are insignificant, and we are always looking for the big thing. And the reason why we look for the big thing is because the big thing is what we've always been taught about, is what we see on social media, is what it's what we observe around us. I'll give you an example. Whenever you look at social media and someone has worked hard when it comes to their weight and they've lost about 100 kilos or 100 kgs. When we look at that person, or 100 kgs a lot, let's just say that someone has lost 50 kgs and they are like this totally different person than what they were before. We tend to celebrate that and actually congratulate it and aspire to the same thing. That is what we want. We wanna lose 50 kgs, wanna lose 30 kgs in just a small amount of time, because why? That's what we are being taught, or that's what we see on the internet streets. Just like when someone will say, I remember when I used to grow my hair. Some of the videos that I used to see a lot are people saying how I grew my hair this long in a year, and we aspire, we like those, we like those exceptional things. We like those over the top things, or the big achievements. And we forget that for that person to lose 50 kgs, it actually took time. They had to lose 1 kg. They had to lose 3 of those kg. They had to lose 5 of those. It wasn't a matter of they just did it instantly and they lost the 50 kg. Same thing with someone trying to grow their hair. It's not like instantly it just happened and they grew their long hair. Now, even though on this video we're not going to be talking about hair or losing weight, we're basically going to be talking about finances. I just wanted to lay that groundwork so that you guys can understand the point that I'm coming at. And I really wanted to make sure that we guys are on the same page as we move into these things that we're going to be talking about, so that we understand each other, and so that when you look at your life, you stop trying to look for the big things and appreciate the small steps that you're doing today. So on today's video, we're going to be looking at 10 signs that you are doing well financially, even when it doesn't seem like it, even when you look at your life in comparison with other people, because that's what we do as human beings. We are always comparing ourselves. You can actually look at the signs and actually say, okay, I'm doing well financially. And mind you, with all the signs that I'm going to be sharing with you, it doesn't mean that you need to be doing all of these things in order for you to feel content that you are doing well financially. You could be doing one of these things, you could be doing 2 of these things, or whatever. The fact that if there's one of these things that you're implementing in your life, then you are doing well financially. The things that I'm also going to be sharing with you are not so much so the definitive, because there's this thing that for someone to be doing well financially, we are always thinking they are a millionaire. We're thinking, oh, they are wealthy. When we look at Patrice Motsepe, we're like, oh, this guy is doing well financially because he's what? He's a billionaire. But when you look at the spectrum of the type of people that we normally say they're doing well financially, it's people that have done extraordinary things, people that have had millions, people that are billionaires, people that are wealthy, someone that earns over 40,000 or 50,000 per month. We look at those people and we say they're doing well financially. But is that a true measure of someone doing well financially? It's not. Yes, they are doing great things. Patrice Motsepe is doing great things, and that is because of the small habits or the small milestone that they implement in their life that got them there. But then we don't look at the process as people. We don't look at the underground, because what we just see this dove that is just moving smoothly, but we don't realize that under the surface, the dove is really, really working hard, And so for them to get there, for them to be called millionaires, for them to be looked at and we say, oh wow, this person is doing well financially. For someone that is getting paid over 50,000 per month, we don't realize the work that it takes for them to get there. And so on this video, I don't want us to look at the outcome. I want us to look at the process, because the process is the reason why you can say that someone is doing financially. Without the process, without the hard work and the actions that someone does on a month-to-month basis, on a day-to-day basis, then we cannot say that that person is doing well financially, because they will not hit their financial goals if it is not for the small step, if it's not for the hard work, if it's not for the late nights, if it's not for the sacrifices that they are putting in place in order for them to be this person that we see now. No, when we look at Patrice Motsepe, we just see this man that has done it, that is just a billionaire. And we forget that there were sleepless nights. There were sacrifices that he made in order for him to get there. There were small investments that he started with. We don't think about that. We just look at that person and we admire the outcome. And so on today's video, I want us to get used to actually appreciating the process and not the outcome, because it is the process that will get you towards your goal. And I want us to cut ourselves some slack as well, because as people, we tend to be very hard on ourselves. I tend to be very hard on myself sometimes. Whenever I look at my savings and I say, Jennifer, you could be pushing yourself even more, But then when I look at it holistically, I'm like, what more can you do? And we tend to be honestly hard on ourselves, and we don't appreciate, or we don't congratulate ourselves. We don't pat ourselves in the back for the actions that we are doing. And on this video, I really want to be that encouraging voice, that voice that tells you that you are doing well. You are actually on the right direction, because we don't get that a lot. Normally, even with my content that I create, it's more so of how can you do better? How can you improve this? On today's video, I just wanted to take a step back and make you realize how much of good you are doing, how well you are doing with your finances. That is the whole point of this video. So let us get into it. And also, please don't forget to smash that thumbs up button, because it does help with the YouTube algorithm. The first sign that you are doing well financially is that you follow a monthly budget. Now, here's the thing. There are many people out here who don't budget. Let's just be real. There are people out here who get paid and they don't take time to sit down and budget their finances. What a budget does is you're sitting down and you're looking at your income versus your expenses, and then what is left after. That is a budget. You are basically making sure that you understand your income in conjunction with your living expenses. Now, there are people that actually don't take time to do that. They do it in their minds. So if you're one of those people that each and every month you actually take time to write out your budget, either digitally or physically, or on paper, you are doing well financially. Because if you are able to write a budget and you are able to implement it 90% of the time, because here's the thing, we budget, there's budgeted and then there's actual. If you on what you budgeted and your actual, there's not really a big difference. So let's just say you were able to implement your budget 90% of the time. Please know that you're doing well. Please know that you're doing well, and actually congratulate yourself. Pat yourself in the back right now. Pat yourself in the back right now, because you are doing well. Second sign that you are doing well financially is that you spend less than what comes in. You are basically living below your means. And what does living below your means look like? So let's say that you get paid 10,000. You spend, after you've paid for your expenses, after you've paid for your debt, you find that from the 10,000 you still have 2,000 for you to save. That is you living below your means. So your expenses are not more than what you get paid. So if you're a person that what comes in is less than what goes out, please know that you're doing well financially. Please know that you are doing great, you are doing well. That's the reason why you'll be able to achieve your financial goals, because of that step, because if you are living above your means, then that means you are not able to save. You are always scrambling during the month for cash. That is a sign that you are actually living above your means. So if you're a person that after you've spent for everything, you've paid for your debts and your expenses, you're still left with enough cash for you to save and live throughout the month, then you are living below your means, which is great. Number 3, sign that you are doing well financially is that you prioritize paying your debt. Listen, when I was growing up, I remember there was this one teacher. Whenever he would get paid, that guy, we knew his story. He would go to the ATMs by 4 a.m. in the morning. He will be at the ATMs withdrawing the money. He will literally sleep by the petrol station so that when the money clocks in, he is there to withdraw it. That is how extreme this guy was. He was not paying for his debt. So the reason why he was doing that, he was avoiding to pay for his debt. And there are people who actually do that, who make sure that whenever they get paid, as it clocks, it is out. And if you're a person that when your money clocks in, you allow the people that you owe to take what is due to them, please know that you're doing well financially, because that does affect your credit score. So if your credit score looks healthy, that means that all your debts are paid on time. No one comes to you and say, I didn't get my money. If you're a person that doesn't run away from your responsibilities, then you're doing well financially. Even if, and I want to just emphasize this, even if after you've paid for your expenses, you have paid for your expenses and you have paid for your debt and there's little to save, don't beat yourself over and think that you're not doing well financially. For the fact that your debtors came to your account and found the money, the fact that you were able to meet your monthly expenses, even if there was just 50 rands left after for you to save, then you are doing well financially. Fourth sign that you are doing well financially is that you are able to save on a month-to-month basis, no matter how little it is. Now, there's a video that I did that was talking about how we always feel like we don't earn enough in order for us to save. Now, if you're a person that when you look at your 5,000 income and you have paid for the things that you need to pay for, by the way, if you are earning 5,000, obviously your lifestyle cannot be 10,000. Like, it doesn't add up. So if you're a person that earns 5,000, your lifestyle reflects that, and because your lifestyle matches this, it allows you to save no matter how little it is. In this 5,000, you are able to say, okay, 100 rands of this, or 200 rands of this, or even 50 rands of this is going to go towards savings. If you are able to do that per month, please know that you are doing well financially, because you saving that 50 rands per month, you saving that 100 rands per month is going to allow you to hit your financial goals. Fifth sign that you are doing well financially is that you do not allow FOMO to control your spending habits. Now, FOMO is fear of missing out. Social media will make you feel like you are missing out on something, because there's always the talk about something new that has dropped. I'll give you an example. Let's just take iPhone. With iPhone, they're honestly always producing the next iPhone, the next iPhone, the next iPhone. Now, if you're a person that whenever there's a next iPhone that has dropped, you feel like you are missing out, you feel like you have to get it, even if you see that the difference is not really much from the 13, the 14, but then it doesn't really matter to you. You want that because you just don't want to miss out. You want to make sure that you get that. Then you are a person that is controlled by FOMO, the fear of missing out. If you're a person that makes investment decisions because of fear of missing out, then you should be worried. You should check yourself. But if you're a person that is able to analyze the situation and say, okay, I see iPhone has dropped the 14. Do I really need the 14? What is so different from the 13 and the 14? What value is it going to add in my life? And then you make your purchase decision. Then you are well off than someone who just haphazardly makes that decision just because they're worried of missing out. If you're a person that looks at these investments that are always coming out and you say, okay, do I really need this investment? What is it going to add in my life? And you make your investment decision, then you are better off. So what I'm saying here, if you do not allow FOMO to control your purchase decision, your investments decision, then you are doing well financially. Sixth sign that you are doing well financially is that after you've paid for your monthly bills, you still have enough for you to live off for the rest of the month. I used to think that I was okay financially when I would, and I was, when I would pay off my debt on time, when I would make sure that I still had, money to save per month, no matter how little it was. I actually knew that I was doing okay. Until I learned that, girl, whenever the 2 weeks leading up to payday, you are scrambling for cash, you are struggling for cash. And it clicked to me that, there's some work that needs to be done. So what I'm saying here is, if you are a person that after you have spent on your monthly expenses, you've paid for your debts, and you have done the big things, you still have enough money for you to allocate for the rest of the month, then you are doing well financially. That you should actually pride yourself for that, because here's the thing, many people are always scrambling for cash as the month draws to the end, because they just don't have enough to leave for the rest of the month. That is why I implemented the weekly allowance or weekly allocation in my budget, because I realized that whenever the 2 weeks leading up to the month end, I was always scrambling for cash, and that's when I found myself reaching towards my credit card the most, because I needed that to help me to survive until the next payday. And that is why for me it was hard for me to get out of debt. But when I actually understood that, I still have 3 more weeks to leave after the first week of my pay, and then I need to allocate for each and every week. Now I find it easy for me to just breeze through the month, because I know that for each and every week I have an allocation to deal with my living expenses. So that includes my groceries, that includes transportation if there is a need that I run out of the budgeted amount. That amount that I allocate per week allow me to not scramble for cash as we draw to the end of the month. Now, if you're curious about what I'm talking about, just in case you found me on this video, I've done ample videos regarding weekly allowances, but there's a video where I talked about how I manage my finances and I looked at weekly allowance. I'm going to link it on a description down below if you want to watch it and understand how do I implement this. So that for me has allowed me to actually not scramble for cash during the month and leading up to the month end. So if you're a person that at this point you always have enough for you to live on until you get paid, whenever you get paid, it's not like you're like, when is this pay coming? When am I getting paid? If you are one of those people, then please know that you're doing well financially. 7th sign that you're doing well financially is that you have financial cushions around your life. And financial cushions such as things that are there to protect you in cases of, things that just happen unexpectedly. So that includes your life cover, your funeral cover, your car insurance, your home insurance. If you have such things, those are cushions around your life. They are there to protect your life. Now, if you have those in place, please know that you're doing well financially, because there are people who cannot afford those. There are people who cannot afford to have a life cover. There are people who cannot afford to have, even if you are saving right now for your pension, if you have a pension in place where you contribute towards per month, please know that you're doing financially, because there are many people out here who cannot afford that, and not from their own doing, but because of what they earn, they honestly cannot afford to put those systems in their lives. So if you are able to put those systems in your life currently, please pat yourself in the back, because you are doing well financially. The 8th sign that you are doing well financially goes hand in hand with the previous point, but this is more so of an emergency fund. Now, if you have 1 to 3 months saved up in your emergency fund, please know that you are doing well financially. So I was looking at my emergency fund and I looked at it and I said, so you currently have saved up 1 month of your emergency. So if things were to happen and you needed to survive, you do have 1 month of savings. Now, I could look at that and say, well, you don't have up to 3 months, or you don't have up to 6 months. But then forget that I've already made steps to even have that 1 month. It's very easy to downplay that. But when I look at that, for me, I look at it as an achievement, because it's a sign that I'm doing well. I'm doing something right. There are people also who honestly are just living below the poverty line and they cannot afford those things. And so that is why for me, when I look at that, I'm like, you are privileged. You are privileged enough that you are able to do that. And that is why I don't look down on those people, because I understand that our conditions in life are differently. And that is why I really wanted to emphasize this point, because you could find that when you look at me and you, we are different in terms of our spectrums. But because there are certain things that you are already doing, in your life, just simple things like budgeting, that is already a sign that there's a level of privilege in your life, because you are able to do those things in your life. That is a sign that you are doing well financially. And so if you have saved up 1 to 3 months of your emergency fund, please pat yourself in the back and know that you are doing well. Ninth sign that you are doing well financially is that you are able to invest for your child's future. Now, I always worry when I see someone that has had a child and you find that this child was also on child support grant. And I did my research on this as well, and that is why I feel strongly about it. You have a child that is on child support grant, but every time when that money comes in, you spend all of it. I understand that the inflation has went up, which affects prices of things. But I feel like if you have a child and from the time they're born, they have a child support grant, no matter how small it is a responsibility of you as a parent to save some of that. And it's possible to do that. It's possible. Unless you are honestly living below the poverty line such that there is no other income that comes in. No other income, like you don't have piece jobs there, you don't have the job that pays you maybe 800 or 1,000 or 1,500. But if you as a parent, you have a job that pays you 1,500 and you have a child or children that have child support grant, it is your responsibility as a parent to make sure that 20 rands of that, 50 rands of that goes towards your child's future. It is a responsibility of you as a parent. And I don't like people when they make excuses. We tend, as people, we like to make excuses for our inconveniences. We like to make excuses for our shortcomings. And this money is not yours as a parent. And that's why I say I feel very strong about this, because I did my master's research on this. This child support grant is not yours as a parent. It's not yours to do your lashes, to do your nails, to do this. It's for the child. What is wrong by taking 50 rands of that and putting it towards your child's future? So if you're a parent right now and you're able to say, per month, I'm going to put 100 rands, 50 rands towards my child's future, because this child is going to grow up to be an adult. It's not just going to be a child forever. They're going to grow up to be an adult, and this adult, you need to actually be responsible to it, because this child didn't ask to be brought on earth. They didn't ask for that. So if you are able as a parent to say 100 rands per month is going to go towards my child, this 100 rands is going to go towards this child, and you put an investment for your child, you allow this child to start their adulthood at a better stage, at a better approach than what you had as a parent. Because many of us, when we grow up to be adults, it's like our parents just figured out then that, oh shit, now you have to go to university. But because you are mindful, you know what you went through, you need to be mindful of that and look at your child and say, I know this child one day is going to need to go to higher education, and in order for them to start it well, I need to save for it. Now, obviously, if your child is on a child support grant, they will qualify for funding. However, you just want to make sure that as they are waiting for that funding, at least they have money for them to, kickstart their life in university, in a TVET college, in where they are studying. And so they're able to buy pots, they're able to buy bedding, they're able to settle in, they're able to pay for registration, Those are your responsibilities as a parent. No child is a responsibility of a government. Let me just say that no child is a responsibility of a government. A child is first a responsibility of a parent. And so if you get money from government towards your child, so that is child support grant, you have a responsibility to save a portion of that for your child. Even if your child doesn't have a child support grant and it's just you have a responsibility towards the child. And so that means that each and every month you need to save something for the child, because the child is going to grow up to be an adult. And so if you're a parent right now and you are able to do that, you are able to put that system in place, please know that you are doing well financially. The last sign that you are doing well financially is that you have been able to tackle some of your debts. Now, this was not part of my points, but I just figured because many of you guys have been hitting this milestone, we have to celebrate them. You have to look at it and say, wow, I'm doing well. If you are a person right now that you have been able to knock out some of your debts, like pay them off and close them, please know that you are doing well financially, because that is a sign that you are doing something that is well off, that you have been able to tackle those debts. Guys, paying off a debt is not easy. I've said this many times. So if you have been able to knock one of that debt, two of those debts, three of those debts, please pat yourself in the back. Because some people honestly cannot do that. Some people, you find that they start a debt and then they start another one, and trying to get out of all these debts becomes very difficult. And so if you are a person on the other side and you have been able to deal with your clothing account, you've been able to deal with your credit card, you've been able to deal with your car payment, you've been able to finish your home loan, please know that you are doing well. And please take time to congratulate yourself and also celebrate yourself, because you'll be able to look at yourself in the future and say, oh wow, I've hit all of this milestone. And when they all add up, you will look like this person that is well off financially, and people will not understand that you've had to do all of these things financially in order for you to get there. And that is why I was sharing this point, so that you understand that in order for you to be this person that is earning over this much, is living comfortably, is a millionaire, is all these things, you've had to do all these things. You've had to budget, you've had to live below your means, you've had to invest, you've had to make rational decisions when it comes to your spending, you've had to think about your child's future, you've had to deal with debt in order for you to actually free up money for you to invest even more and more. That is all the small steps that will allow you to get to that ideal self that you always aspire to whenever you look at these people who are millionaires, who are wealthy, who are rich, who are doing well financially. They've had to do many of those things. And so in order for you to get there as well, you need to understand that you need to celebrate each and every one of these and look at these things and pride yourself for them. Because if it's not for those things, you will not be that person. You will not reach that ideal self financially. You will not, if you don't do any of these things. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video and that you found it helpful, insightful, but more so encouraging in your financial journey, that you need to stop being so hard on yourself. Stop being hard on yourself. Start appreciating and celebrating yourself. And I'm also speaking to myself as well, because I tend to do this as well. I'm always looking for the next thing, and then I forget that, oh, there's something that I've done in order for me to get to that next thing. And so please celebrate each and every milestone and appreciate it and look at it as extraordinary, because it is. So I'll see you on the next one. Please take care and stay safe. Bye.